What is up, everyone? This definitely should have been a podcast episode because, but like I didn't really do my podcast yesterday because I was having a heart to heart with a friend of mine who was undergoing a crisis that they have to undergo throughout the week, and also really hope that everything goes well with you, V. Just hang in there. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. This guy. Uh, Moving along though, we don't talk enough about Colts. I know my hair is messed up. I will get it looked. I will get it touched up. I just don't have. I don't have money for gas. Like the irony that like I live close to things that I need to get, and because I don't have gas for my car, I can't go places as often as I like to because I gotta save money. I gotta save up money so I can get food. Although oddly enough, if you remember a few months ago, it's the summer again. Well, the summer is on its way again, and sorry, excuse me. And I'm going to most likely be like getting more hours at my job again because a lot of a lot of people at my job are students. They are young enough to be like college students and stuff like that. So they're like leaving for school, and because I don't go to school, they're like hey, so and so just quit. We want to get more hours, and I'm like, you bet you're behind. I do. Heck yeah, man. Put me on, because I need that money. I need that money. Like I said, in my last video, I might still be getting a roommate pretty soon. It's in a matter of days or so that I probably might, so that kind of helps out a little bit. Like if I'm getting more hours at my job and my roommate's helping cutting the bills in half, I get a chance to finally save up a little bit of money in the process, and also like just be able to get myself back on track financially. That's the whole thing. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about cults. We don't talk enough about cults. We don't talk enough about cults because when we talk about cults, like when you think about cults, or at least when I think about cults, I think of a group of robed old white guys in a dark candlelit room, just chanting in fake Latin, chanting in fake Latin. Also, we control everything, and we are going to make life miserable for poor people because we like blood and little kids for some weird reason. That's what the whole that's what it was pushed as. That's what secret societies and cults and stuff like that were pushed as growing up. And when the Illuminati involved in music became a thing, people started, people just took that and just ran with it. But what we don't understand is like secret societies are not really that secret. If they were, you wouldn't know who they were. Like you would not know who they were because somebody would be actively trying to stifle that information. Why? You ever notice how the people who talk about the Illuminati and stuff like that, they don't get disappeared? You know what I mean? Like these people have all this money and all this power and all this authority, but for some strange reason, they're still around talking the stuff that they're talking. Think about that for a second. If I was as evil, if I was the head of an evil secret organization as responsible for the humans, responsible for you know like everything, then the person who is definitely like making me out to be this terrible person, they're getting smoked. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I would do that. I'm just saying evil people do things like that. If you want somebody silenced, they will get silenced. You know what I mean? And sometimes it won't even be like, oh, they just get popped off or whatever. I mean, look at Bill O'Reilly. Look at what he's doing. You know what I mean? What's Tucker Carlson doing? Uh, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, but the thing is about cults and secret societies and stuff like that is once again they're not that secret. They're not obscure, and it's actually very easy to join one. People think, oh yeah, you talking about the Freemasons? No, I'm not talking about the Freemasons. I'm talking about first off, let's just talk about what a cult actually is. At the end of the day, a cult is ultimately a group of people that share one core idea. The thing is, they share one core idea, and sometimes that core idea comes in the form of a person, a very charismatic, influential person, and everybody just kind of sort of goes off of this person has this influence, so to speak, and they just can they can convince people to do things.
You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it, anything can be a cult as long as a whole bunch of people agree that that thing is worth supporting and following, and one person can like convince everybody that they speak for that ideal. Kind of like religion. The problem is that, and my whole thing is like cults aren't necessarily bad. I would argue that like cults are actually, something that sort of helps keep people like organized. It helps keep people interested. It's a good way to find friends because cult is just a short word for culture. You know what I'm saying? It's ultimately just people just getting together and trying to establish something based off of something else. We also we call it fandom. You know what I mean? We call it we call it fandom, which is a short word for which is shortened down to fans. We have these things are already a thing. It's just that there's people out there that do these things for a negative reason, and when that happens, when that happens, it's become such a core part of that culture that people don't think that is bad until they do think that is bad, and when they think that is bad, it's like, yo, should we put a stop to this? No, it's been happening forever, and that's the problem. That's the problem with these things is that like when you're so used to doing something that is kind of bad or kind of dumb, and you're so used to it, at some point you just say, well, it's been going on for XYZ a long time, we should just let it continue. And the problem is that that's not the best way to approach problematic things. There's a lot of things in this world that we feel like, there's this whole belief system of, utopia isn't a real thing. Like, there's no such thing as perfection. But it's like, apparently people have weaponized phrases like, you can't have a utopia, you can't have a perfection, because so it's not worth pursuing because you'll never reach it. And it's like, but the problem is that like, it is still worth pursuing. It's still like, just because there is no perfect good doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive towards being a perfect good. You see what I'm saying? We shouldn't be like, oh well, there's no reason to try to be a perfect good because being a perfect good is not a real concept. It doesn't make any sense because like because it's like if that's the case, then at least be the perfect neutral, which is even more impossible if you think about it. Because it's like being a perfect neutral means you literally do nothing. You don't do anything to benefit society, but you don't do anything to harm people. That is a challenge because people are capable of being harmed and people are capable of being helped by even the slightest thing. And that's where I go right down to who is actually the secret society that runs everything. You ready for this? This is going to blow your mind and this is going to be very offensive. You ready for this? It's you. It's you. Not you specifically, but normal people. Normal people like you, like me, like the rest of society. The numbers. You need to understand specifically that um, it's never just one person who fixes a problem. One person don't fix like a grandiose problem. It's the efforts of multiple people coming together. Once again, an influencer is only as important as is the people who it influences. You can't call yourself an influencer if you only influence one person, but you can call yourself an influencer if you influence 40 people. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's you. You. And the problem is that there's some people out there that truly do already believe that, and they use that as a means to sort of give themselves a form of entitlement that is completely undeserved. Because you're not important in a way that you influence an influencer. Does that make sense? Like I can't go up to a celebrity and tell them how to be more of a celebrity. But at the same time, if that celebrity didn't have at least like 10 or so people to support them, it wouldn't matter. And that's the problem. Also, if you're the influencer, if you have like 4 million people like loving you in every way, shape, or form, you as a person don't matter to that one person. It's kind of like that episode of the Boondocks when Granddad got like the Facebook account and he apparently added a honey on there, right? And Riley was like, "Yeah, she's your first friend, and you're her 3 millionth." You know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know, what I'm saying? And the problem is that like people kind of just there's this weird way that we look at power, and this weird way that we look at authority, and this weird way that we look at just things being in charge. We feel like we don't necessarily. It's like fans doing the bare minimum is why celebrities do the things that they do. When in reality, fans just being there is kind of like if I'll say this right now, if I become an influencer, which I'm honestly starting to think can't possibly happen. It seems like it seems like a realistic concept now. But if I were to ever become an influencer, I'm not gonna accept anybody giving me advice on how to be me. Does that make sense? But at the same time, I'm not gonna tell you how to be you. All I can say is stuff. All I can do is say stuff and hope that something sticks. Hope that something that I say makes sense. But I'm not gonna tell you, here's how you be a better you, and here's how you do. First, you gotta do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. I can't do that. And that's the problem with today's society. We don't talk enough about people who don't know the difference between, like giving good advice and just telling you what to do. And the problem is that like we correlate the two too much because of the fact that it's like we agree with something. Like now, my thing is that I try my best not to agree with somebody 100%. I actively look for a reason to not agree with somebody because I don't want to devote my entire perspective to to that person. Because the problem is that like a person is still another person. Does that make sense? A person is still like a person who like they're still like I'm just a dude at the end of the day. I'm just a dude. Like if you agree with 100% of everything I'm saying and you're willing to devote your focus to me, that's nice. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm just a dude. That's who I am. That's it. That's it. At the end of the day, that's who I am. I'm just some dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm just some dude who made enough failures in my life to kind of see that I'm not capable of giving you the best advice. All I can give you is my personal perspective, which is what I will always say. Here's my personal perspective. Here's how I would have did it. Here's what I would have done. And if my way doesn't correlate with something that you agree with or something that you think will work for you, you don't have to do it. But all I can give you is my personal perspective. Does that make sense? I keep asking, does that make sense? Because I don't think that I'm making sense, and I have to be sure. I seek out affirmations whenever I can because, like I said, growing up bullied traumatized me, and now I'm just like I really have this belief system that I'm the worst person on the planet, and everybody hates me, and I have to I need that's kind of the reason why I got into social media in the first place. I'm just looking for people to be nice to me. That's it. At the end of the day, like I want people to be nice, and I want people to be nice to me. Notice how I did those as two separate things, and I'm very simple about it. I'm very childlike about it when it comes to that because, like at the end of the day, adults are just growner kids. I just want people to be nice, and I want people to be nice to me, and I also want people to be nice to each other. That's it. Well, that's just immature. Yeah, it's like why do you want to challenge that? We live in a world right now where everybody is cruel to each other all the time, as often as possible, for personal amusement. We live in a world like that already, and the world has been like that for years, for decades, for a century. We have been in that already. All we have from it is wars that hurt people, stuff that like famines. We have famines. We have in a world where we can literally grow food. We have people starving to death because some people don't want other people to eat. How does that benefit anyone? How does cruelty and being mean to people and treating people like garbage help anyone? How does pushing this idea that causing other people to suffer is a good thing for the people who are suffering? And yet we've somehow managed to turn the idea that we turn the concept of let's mistreating people actually betters things. We turn that into a way of life. We turn that into a way of thinking. And I don't understand why. And it's really messing with me because of the fact that that's where we are. That's the cult mindset now. Like bullying people is okay. Victim is a bad word. Like as long as we have a good reason, we can do any terrible thing we want. These are not things that humanity should be going towards. These are not things that society should be pushing towards continuing because it's already a thing now. We literally have kids being taught that bullying is okay because there is no accountability for the bully. As a matter of fact, if you stand up to the bully, you're the bad guy because you're just denying them a chance to be artistic and creative. It's like, no, they're defending themselves from somebody who's trying to marginalize them for a reason that you could explain is doesn't make sense. Making fun of somebody because of their physical appearance is not a good thing. It's not something that you should be making. If you're going to mess with somebody and make somebody feel inferior or make somebody or harm people, then you should at least do it to people who is harming people for a reason that doesn't make any sense. Physical appearance, that should be on the list of things that don't make sense. Life preferences, that should be on the list of things that don't make sense if those life preferences doesn't exactly harm another person or not. You know, like I can't stress that enough. It's the fact that we just live in a world right now where we're trying to push this concept that this is the way that things should be, and this is manly, and this is all this stuff. No, you're bullying, you're being mean, you're being cruel. Why do we have to continue being cruel? Why does things have to be expensive so that poor people just shouldn't be able to afford it? Why are homes expensive? Everything kind of correlates to this idea that we live in a world where like the belief is a cult. It's a screwed up cult. And the sad part is that it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault that it's happening, but it's people's fault that it's continuing. We know what the problem is. And as a society, we have proven on multiple occasions that if we work together as a society that shares one thought and shares one idea towards making things better, we have made things better. You know how I know this? Because technology exists and it's consistently getting better. No, technology is actually the downfall of humanity. Social media is actually really bad. Social media is how most people get the news now. Before that, it was just propaganda. But now a regular guy can just get on the camera and just say stuff that is happening in their backyard, and they can actually, and you could get a personal idea as to what's going on. We have been like, social media isn't a bad thing. It's what people do with social media that's bad. Society, like everything that we have are tools, and it's just a matter of what you do with the tools. Anything can be a tool as long as it's used to fix things or improve things. But it can be harmful if it's used too much to hurt people. Capitalism can actually be a good thing. It can literally just be considered motivation, keeping you like motivated to do something so that you know that you're going to get something out of it. There's nothing wrong with capitalism, but at the end of the day, people who use capitalism as a means to harm other people, that is the problem. Same thing with socialism. Same thing with all this other stuff. We can all agree that bad things are bad. But if you use the idea of bad things being bad to treat people badly, you're a bad person. And making a culture off of that makes that culture bad. God, I hope that made sense. I really hope that made sense. I'm ranting because of the fact that it's really kind of stressing me out. I'm ranting because this is something that has been going on for a long time, and I've been paying attention to it. And it's like masculinity is a cult now. Masculinity is a cult. It's just this should have been a podcast episode. But like I said, I was trying to, I was consoling a friend of mine. I don't like they're going through it right now, and we all are. We are all going through it. We all are. And we as a society have managed to just say, suck it up, you big baby, into a lifestyle. Some people just need to be tender. Some people need, so you just say you're just going to pat somebody on the head and tell them that it's going to be okay? Absolutely. Every time. Because not everybody needs to be told to suck it up and quit being a baby about it. Quit being a baby doesn't always motivate people. You know what sometimes motivate people? Being tender, being loving, being caring. You know how I know that? Because there's an entire culture of men right now complaining about the lack of tender, loving care that they get. Because all they know how to do is be obnoxious and annoying and hard and strong and manly. These dudes are out here complaining about the fact that they need a woman's touch, but they don't realize that it's not a woman's touch that you need, because what you need can be offered from anybody. Anybody can come up to you and just tell you, hey man, everything's going to be okay. And I see your effort, and I see your effort. I want you to do better, and I believe that you can do better. Here, let me help you. That's it. Anybody can do that, but you mistake the tender, loving care for women for women just letting you do things to them, and then you forget that like that's not what it is. As a society, we really just need to stop thinking that mistreating people is necessary. It's not. Because that's all we do, that's all we have done, and things have only gotten worse since then. Mistreating people is bad. Hurting people is bad. Using a good reason to justify hurting people is bad. Well, Manny, don't you always pick on the white supremacists and make fun of the Republicans and all this other stuff? You're a hypocrite. Yes, I do, and yes, I am. But you know the difference between me and these people are? Those people want me dead. Those people want me dead. Those people want my family dead. Those people want people who I care about dead. Those people want everybody wiped out or at least put into an eternal place of miserable servitude. You know what I want for them? For them to just not have any power anymore. That's it. I just want them to I want them, they want to say the N-word and tell everybody that they suck and trash everybody. Fine. Do it from the comfort of your own personal spaces. You guys can have that on your own. It doesn't have to be national policy. I don't want you guys wiped out. I don't want you guys like destroyed. I don't want your entire way of life defeated. If you want to have that amongst yourselves, not with everybody else. Just go over there. Just go over there for a little bit. Just move. You don't want to be around society. Nobody wants to be around you. Let's just call a spade a spade. You go where you want to go to and stay there. Oh, like a concentration camp? No, stupid. Like a society that you can improve, that you can enjoy on your own. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit different. I just don't like. We need to learn more about cults. We need to learn more about influence. We need to learn more about why people think that the reason why you can't get a girlfriend is because you lack the manpower. And the same people who believe crap like that will also believe somebody saying, yeah, because these women are just terrible people and you're actually in the right, and also slavery should be reintroduced. What? If you're willing to be influenced by negativity and cruelty and just being like, the problem with bullies is that like they're influential, but they're also just terrible people. So they're going to try to convince you of something that's really bad that correlates with something else that you think is really bad. You can't fall for that. We need to learn more about cults. We need to learn more about cults. We need to learn more about etymology. We need to learn more about empathy. We just need to learn more. We just need to learn more. Because right now we are living in a society right now where there's like, on a political scale, and I hate to bring politics into this, on a political scale, is literally a guy who's saying that, like, it's literally an entire political party that is basically saying that they're going to turn America back into the times, they're going to turn America back into the times where slavery and the Salem witch trials are just like a dinner party. They're going to make lives miserable for people. And you literally have an entire force that's saying, we might suck, but we probably won't do that. And this upcoming election is close. We need to understand that we spent our entire lives being hard, being tough, being like acting like the world. Everybody just needs to be like a stereotypical rich white guy from the 1950s. You know, hard drinking, cigar smoking, angry all the time, but also knows how to get behind a newspaper and tell you what for. It's 2024. That way doesn't work anymore. Let's think of different ways. And let's do things to help each other. Let's love each other. Let's treat each other like people instead of like obstacles. Victim is not a bad word. Sometimes bad things just happen to people for no reason. But just because bad things happen doesn't mean we have to appreciate and value the bad thing. Because valuing and appreciating a bad thing can sometimes cause us to ignore the fact that we can indeed turn the bad thing into a good thing. We don't like the rain, but we love water. sometimes. Fire hurts us, but we also know how to utilize it for the better. We don't just walk around a fire, burn ourselves with it, and be like, fire's good, it hurts, but it's good. No. We managed to turn that into something. And that's what we do less of nowadays. We just see bad stuff happen and just be like, well, it's actually good. Because I'll think of a reason later. We don't fix things. We don't solve problems. We just look at a problem and try to convince ourselves that it's not a problem. We can't keep doing that. Toxic masculinity is a problem. Capitalism is a problem. Bigotry is a problem. White supremacy is a problem. These things are problems that we have to fix. Because if we do not fix these things, as well as a whole bunch of other things, then things are going to get much, much worse. I'm glad I ain't got no kids. Love and peace, y'all. No, seriously. Love and peace. 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 I'm going to keep saying it until that becomes the new ideology that we all support. Love and peace.